Christmas is getting very close, but it's not too late to make a 3-yard quilt.
Today we're going to give you some ideas. Keep watching.
Hi, it's Donna Robertson.
And Hannah with Fabric Café.
You know, Christmas is just around the corner, and if you're like me, you probably still have quilts you want to make.
But with 3-yard quilts, it's so easy and fast to put your quilts together. We make the process as streamlined and fun as possible. And we've got some great Christmas kits and patterns that will go together so fast.
Well, let's look at the first one. Now, this one is called Dash, and it is one of my favorites. I remember whenever I designed this one, I was so excited about it. I loved the movement with the alternating blocks with a little small block here, and I had a lot of fun making this little, so you have a big block and a skinny block and a big block and a skinny block. So let's put it on the table and talk about some Christmas fabric in this one. So you know, we said we were going to show them some easy quilts, and this one is super easy. The first thing that you want to know is we've got a lot of squares. You just cut a square, and then it's alternated with a piece block. And if you'll hand me the cropping tool, I will show you how easy this is. And it's kind of fun. Like I said about the quilt, it's like a big block and then a skinny block. And if you've ever made a 9 patch, then you're going to see that this first section of this block is made just like a 9 patch. You've got 3 strips of long fabric and you sew them together, and then you cut a unit. And then, super, super simple, we're going to sew a little skinny piece on the side, and then we're going to do the same thing over here. And when you get through, you have this little skinny block.
That's so great.
Isn't that fun? And so it goes together so fast.
Well, and then another nice thing too is there's a sashing strip that separates them. I just noticed this.
Yes.
That keeps you from having to match any seams. Like, you don't have to match your corners up. So, I mean, that makes it go fast too.
You know, it's the little things in life that make us quilters happy.
Yes.
So, and you're right, we did put a sashing row in between, but not up and down, because this is acting as if it's like a skinny block sashing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's look at the fabric, because this is fun fabric. I love having multiple trees, and they're decorated differently. Look at that. Isn't that cute?
You know, this almost makes me think of Charlie Brown Christmas, just a little bit with the art style.
Yes,
And
it does.
the sweet little tree.
Yes, and then it also reminds me, like this one right here, of the time that my stepdaughter had cut down a tree and brought it in and decorated it for us. And it was kind of an anemic looking tree.
Oh. It was what you could get.
And Blake was just little bitty, and he came in and he goes, "Is that a Christmas twig?"
Oh my goodness.
So we have a Christmas twig here. Okay, enough about this cute fabric, but it is cute. We're going to put that everywhere you have the number 1 block. And on this particular quilt, we have the number 3 block also has that little corner here. But the number 1 block gets that beautiful showy border.
That's going to look
great. And
great.
all of these trees are going to be going like this, up and down on that. I like that. And then again, we have a super fun, interesting number 2 that's going to go here in the background. And I love these dots when they make them. I think they call those seed dots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they all have these colors, like they're multicolor, and I like it almost as like Christmas lights.
Yes.
And it also picks up all of these great ornaments in our tree.
I like that. And then our number 3 block is going to be the packages. And you know, what's a Christmas tree without a bunch of packages underneath it? Isn't that cute? And see how the pinks are picked up, and I love it. And then the background's green.
Yes.
So this is going to be in the number 3, and then we'll get a little peek of packages right here. But enough about that.
'Cause we all want a little peek at the
Let's
packages.
show them an image.
Oh, that looks so fantastic.
Isn't that sweet? I really do like the way that turned out. And I love the way the trees are out in the border.
And those packages you talked about, I really like having that number 3 in that smaller block, because it just adds so much dynamic color in the quilt and makes it really, the design really pop.
Well, you know, it just gives you a little peek of that package. And whenever I say a little peek in the, I want to say, I remember when I wanted to peek in all those packages.
I know. You want to give it a little shake, but it's too dangerous to give presents a shake, because what if it's breakable? You don't learn that till you're older.
Well, the cool thing about this pattern is it's in the book, Easy Peasy 3-Yard Quilts. And if you want to make a lot of quick quilts, you'll make these quilts. So this one's called Christmas Spirit. It's 8023348, and it's the dash pattern.
This is our Tic Tac pattern, again from our Easy Peasy book. And it goes together really fast. This sashing might look a little bit daunting, like, oh, I've got to cut all these little squares. But it's actually made in a long strip assembly, and then you just cut your unit off. So you don't have to get in real deep with all of the little cuttings, and it goes together very quickly. Now we've got some great new Christmas fabric to show you, so let's check it out. So like I mentioned at the quilts, this is one big strip assembly that you cut into units, which goes together so fast, because I don't know, I don't think I would want to cut little squares. I know that some people do, but I am too haphazard of a quilter to be that delicate.
Well, you know, before I started strip piecing, I cut all these little pieces and sewed them together. I mean, you know, a lot of quilters, but now, I mean, we are just living in such a fast-paced world. We need all those shortcuts, and that's why I agree with you. I like the strip piecing, yeah.
And all of these, you have a couple other strip assemblies in here too. So these nice, beautiful blocks, those are also made in strip assembly, so you get those gorgeous units.
Well, you know what's really fun about this quilt as well is you're pointing it out as you're talking, that these are vertical rows instead of being horizontal. And you might ask, why do we do that? But there's a reason why we do that, because we tell you all the time, we put forth the effort to simplify the pattern so it's easiest for you. And we actually made a whole video on vertical row quilting. So be sure to check that video out as well.
It's great. It's fun.
Well, let's talk about the fabric.
Yeah, let's do it. So our number one is this gorgeous poinsettia on this blue. And I love, there are these speckles of white, like it's snowing in the background.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be your number one, which is everywhere you see this gray, this floral on the gray, which is also on the border. Love a good focus on a border. And then we have a double focus, like in our last one, but last one we had our double focus in the 1 and 3. So this is just like a little bit fun, changing it up a little bit. We've got our double focus in 1 and 2. So that's something to take into consideration when you're picking a pattern too for your fabrics.
That's right.
We give options for whatever your fabric situation is.
And the cool thing is, because any fabric will work in any position, if you want to change that position, you can do that. If you thought, well, this is 1 and 3, but you want to do this pattern, you just have to move one of those focuses to the number 2 position, and then when we start making the number 2 position, you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah. You can change it up however it feels right for you, as long as you follow all of the cutting instructions for that one fabric.
That's right.
So our number 2, like we were talking about, is it's the same fabric but made in a different colorway. So now we have the same poinsettia but on a white background with like blue snow.
I didn't notice that.
Very soft, very delicate,
is.
but it adds a nice little texture to the background.
And I love the color of these poinsettias. I don't know if I've ever seen a real poinsettia that color, but it's very pretty.
You know, they actually have poinsettias in all sorts of colors, which I even think there's a purple one. I may be really wrong. Let me know in the comments. Does a purple poinsettia exist, or did I dream it?
Well, I know red and white.
Yeah. I think there are more.
Yeah.
Let us know. I would
Well,
like
that's
to know.
okay. It's sort of like that purple cow, you know. If you know the purple cow story. But anyway, this artist saw them in these colors, and they're beautiful.
A little bit softer, more moody for Christmas. So that's going to go everywhere you see this yellow, and that'll be in the corners, or the little corners in your sashing strip. Then we have our number 3, which is this gorgeous green, and you can see how it picks up the green and the leaves too. That's going to go everywhere you see this blue. And it also has a little touch of snow. It is so pretty. We have an image to show you.
Absolutely.
And you can see just how nicely it frames the poinsettias. And I love having that little, the little white poinsettia or the red poinsettia on white in those corners, because it highlights that blue fabric on the border and in the block so well.
This is one that I think I've fallen in love with. That is a beautiful quilt.
Very
I love it.
Comforting, soft, artistic.
Yes.
Beautiful. Well, your kit info is 8023-346. The name is Joyful Winner, and that's using the Tic Tac pattern from the Easy Peasy book or available as an individual.
Now this quilt is called Byzantine Door, and I like Byzantine Door. It's one of the biggest blocks that we've created with the 3-yard quilts. You know, you're somewhat limited in the sizes that you can do to make it all come out so beautifully. And this one, I was able to get a really nice size block. And we'll put that on the table and show you what this one looks like, brand new Christmas fabric. Now this is a fun fabric to me. Pine cones. They just say Christmas. You know, I can remember as a child going out and gathering pine cones, and then I think we would spray some kind of glue on it or something and put glitter on it.
Yep. I never
you done that?
No,
Oh,
I've
you
never
didn't do
done
that?
that, but I have seen it done, and it's funny how much glamour it adds to a pine cone.
And my mother always said how much glitter it got all over the house.
Yeah.
But this is a gorgeous fabric, and this is going to be in our #1 spot, and that's going to be everywhere you see the red, and then a little bit out here. I like that. And then the #2 is going to be the pine cones. These are the pine cones and the poinsettias. Here's our pine cones. That goes in our #2. And then our #3 fabric. I love this.
Yes.
That is so gorgeous. It almost looks like a very soft burlap.
Yes.
So I really like that. It's going to go right here. Now the cool thing about this quilt is it's another vertical row quilt. So, you know, we told you about that video. Well, then you'll want to check it out, because vertical rows really do go together fast.
They do.
And instead of doing a lot of smaller, skinnier rows, you're doing long rows, but we've got some tips in there to show you how fast it goes together.
And another great thing that I'm seeing, there's no seams to match up. I think that's what
really
I'm looking
important.
for now.
Well, you know, I understand that. I really do. Like I said, you know, when you're quilting, especially when you're making gifts, you don't want to have to go back and rip out something because you got it all conk-eyed.
Yes, yeah. So it's just an added bonus. You know, you can match corners, and it's not that hard, but, you know, when you don't have to, why do it?
That's right. Now look at the image of this quilt. Isn't that one just so fresh and just wonderful? It almost evokes that feeling of snow, too, because of the way it's been, I guess, kind of watercolor look to the fabric.
And it's so elegant, but also rustic at the same time. It has this very comforting sort of classic feel to me. Maybe classic's not the right word, but it does have that kind of rustic elegance.
Well, yeah, it's sort of like an old. It has an old-fashioned. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, maybe that's it.
But it's like I think we were more elegant in the olden days.
Yeah, maybe.
But any way you look at it, it's the Rustic Christmas. It's 8023347 is the kit number. It's the Byzantine Door pattern from the book Quick and Easy 3-Yard Quilts.
This is our garden path pattern. This is from our book Fast and Fun. And your first block is just a square. I mean, it doesn't get easier than that. Then your secondary block is just a strip assembly, and you put one rectangle in between them. So you don't have to do a lot of piecing them together, and to get this gorgeous effect with this kind of like almost 3D effect with this pushing the focus to the front. Plus, it's great for directional fabric. So let's put it on the table and check out the gorgeous Christmas fabric we have. All right, so like we mentioned, this works really well for directional fabrics because this block is cut independently from anything else. And we have this gorgeous winter birds, which I just love. It's so nice. It has this like soft white and gray background with the trees, and then all of those bright pops of colors with the birds.
You know, I love that. I love seeing that in the winter. And it just evokes such memories of times that we've occasionally had snow in Texas.
Very occasionally.
But we had it a little bit more often when I lived in Arkansas. So I got to see the cardinals and the blue jays, and it was really nice.
So pretty. Well, we're going to put those birds in your block here so you get a nice big focus on them. And then our number 2 fabric is like a birch tree texture, which is so much fun. It adds so much interest to your number 2. And it picks up all of these tree textures from your focus. And that's going to go everywhere you see this white right here.
I just planted a birch tree because of its bark.
Did you?
I did. It's so interesting. I planted a river birch, and it's very pretty.
I'm going to have to come see it. I want to see your river birch tree.
All right.
And then for our number 3, we've got red. And that's going to be in your border here and at these corners. So it's really going to make this focus pop, you know, picking up that red bird. Oh, it's going to be so pretty. And in fact, I'm just going to show you how pretty it is because we have an image. And
it's a great image.
I love how that red sort of makes the birds feel like they're coming off of the quilt.
Yes.
And frames it so nicely. And what a good place for the corner blocks in this one with using that focus fabric in there. It complements the red and birds so well.
Well, it also has that same kind of an image as the birds that are on that light background.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it.
I do
so
too.
Pretty.
I really liked, and I like the corner blocks. I don't know if you like corner blocks, but have you ever made a quilt with the corner blocks? I think it just adds a little oomph.
Agreed. Yeah, let us know your thoughts on corner blocks. I'd love to know. Your kit information is 8023350 Winter Flutters, and it's using the Garden Path pattern, which is available in the Fast and Fun book or as an individual.
Now this one is called Snowball, and you might at first glance say, but wait, what's fast about half square triangles? But it really does go together really fast, and what's really cool about this one is you could use a double focus if you wanted to. Let's put it on the table and talk about this one. You know, Hannah, one of the things about this quilt that makes it extra special, Fran designed this several years ago, and I just thought it was so clever. You know, when you cut the corners off of your Snowball, then you have all of these little triangles left over. And I know quilters, we don't throw fabric away. You'll get your little Ziploc baggie and put all those in there, and then you seal it and you say, I'm going to use these one of these days.
Right.
But in this case, we do not want you to use it one of these days. Fran actually designed this with these great triangles out here, using those little triangles that were left over to make the border. Isn't that cute?
It's so cute. And I love that it uses everything you've got.
Yes.
So you can really highlight that fabric. And what a fun design.
Yes.
And you know, we have a really great tutorial on this pattern where Fran steps you through exactly how you make it, gives you tips and tricks, and it's really great. So be sure to check that video out and get the lowdown on how to make this pattern.
It's so fun, and it is. And you could also even use your scraps if you wanted to change up the different blocks.
That's true. And that would be so cute. So it's like lots of different blocks.
Yeah. Like if you have some leftover Christmas fabric from some other quilt, you could do that as well. And we have a double focus, so I can't wait to show them the image on this. It is so cute.
Yes. This fabric sings to my soul.
I know it does. I was just noticing your cute little earrings that you have. Little.
I didn't even think about that. They match.
They do. You look like you dressed for this quilt.
I guess I did.
Okay, so this is going to be our number 1 fabric. I love this bear. It's so cute. He's got a little stocking cap on. And it's going to go in this block here. Absolutely adorable.
They're all dressed up. All the animals dressed up for the holidays.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I can't wait to see what my cats are going to dress up like. Okay, so this is our number 2 fabric. It's going to go in the alternate block. And like we said, you could use a double focus or a block with a little more interest in it on this particular one. So our number 3 fabric, is that cute? All the little toadstools and everything. Those are adorable. And this really does anchor the quilt all the way through by creating a high contrast with the number 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
And so this we picked out a red here. We did the same thing here because it contrasts with this, and it also contrasts with the green.
Yeah.
But say no more, Donna. Let's show them an image.
Oh,
Isn't that cute?
I love it so much.
It is just perfect for your earrings.
Yes, I love it. And it's just so cheerful and fun. Like, this is the kind of Christmas quilt that I want in my house. So, I mean, maybe I'm going to make exactly this.
Well, you know what you should do is whenever you sit down in your chair in the evening, make sure you change your earrings to match.
Yes, I'll always match my quilt.
So this is an adorable kit. It's so cute. So this one is called Forest Party. It's 802-3351. The Snowball pattern, and this is an individual pattern. It's not available in any book.
This is our bold blocks pattern from our Pretty Darn Quick book, and it has a nice big block there that's just a square that you cut out that shows off a large focus fabric, which is really nice, especially when you got fun Christmas fabrics. And then the rest of the block is made just kind of in steps where you build onto your square with some sashing strips or just with strips, and it goes together really quickly, and it's the same block throughout the whole thing. So once you get one down, you're sailing. So let's look at the fabric we got, and I'll crop it out and show you exactly what I mean. So would you hand me the cropping tool? And I will show you what I mean by it's a one block. So you first start off with your square, nice and easy. And then you're gonna add a strip to the side, boop, like that, just a little strip. Then you add one to the bottom, ta-da. Then you add one more to the side, and then you add one more to the bottom, and that's your block.
And it creates this faux sashing.
Yeah, with that between all of them.
Yeah, and it's so funny that you do that, and it's like you make your blocks and you put those blocks together, and voila, you're finished. You're not having to put blocks together and then sewing on the sashing.
Yes. So this one is, I feel like, one of those that's like, could look a little challenging, but when you get down to the roots of it, it's very easy. It's one of those deceptively challenging looking ones, you know? Really makes it look like you did something hard. We love those. Want it to be easy, but make it look like complicated. It's
Yeah,
great.
you want to do something hard so you can get compliments.
Yes, exactly.
But it was really easy. Well, we think you're wonderful, and all of your quilting is wonderful.
Thank you. And, you know, I haven't made bold blocks yet. I should make this one.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Maybe the next one.
Maybe. We'll see.
It would look really cute in that last fabric that
It
we
would
showed.
look really cute. Well, and you know, any 3 yards works with any fabric. So,
That's right.
or any 3-yard pattern works with any fabrics. I missed some words in there. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's look at fabric. So we have our wonderful Christmas fabric, which is another winter scene. And while we had all of the birds on the soft white before, now we have our deer and some bunnies. We do have some birds. And that's going to go in your big block here. And then we also have for our number 2, this gorgeous silver, which has this really nice texture on it. And that's going to go everywhere you see this red, which is really going to frame out your animals nicely.
You'll get good contrast with that.
Oh, and speaking of contrast, even more, we've got this gorgeous red, which is going to be everywhere you see this blue. And it has like this kind of soft twirl in it. So I like that it has a little bit of texture to really make that pop. And you can see how it picks up all the berries and some birds on your number 1. In fact, let's show you how gorgeous it is. You can see, I love, you were talking about contrast. That red just coming off of the side of that block really highlights all of those animals and gives
And
a
the
lot of
berry
interest.
bushes.
Yes, yeah, and the berry bushes.
Yeah, I really like that too. And this is such a sweet, peaceful kind of a scene that you have here with the bunnies and the deer. I love it.
Just comforting Christmas. Well, your kit information is 802-3349, Snowy Wonderland, And the pattern is Bold Blocks, which is from the Pretty Darn Quick book, and it's also available as an individual.
Well, that was another wonderful group of Christmas quilts.
Yes.
And I'm really curious, how many quilts do you make every Christmas for
Oh,
gifts?
that's a great question.
Yeah, put your answer in the comment. We'd
Yeah.
love to know how many you're making this year.
Absolutely. And you know, we've started doing something cool on our website that we want to share with you. We've introduced a seasonal tab on our website next to our 3-yard quilts tab. So it will rotate with the seasons. So no matter what you're looking for, it's all consolidated and super easy to find.
And this was so fun. I love Christmas quilts.
Me too.
And if you love them as much as we do, you'll probably want to check out some of our other Christmas videos and the patterns that we've used in those.
Yeah, absolutely. So just click on that video we'll show you at the end.
It's Donna Robertson.
And Hannah with Fabric Cafe.